Joining me now, Don Shanks. How are you, Don?
I'm very well, Gabby. Yes, fine, thank you.
And you're here today to talk about your brother, your former teammate and best pal, Stan Bowles, as he's battling Alzheimer's. And you're going to be going to New York very soon and running the New York Marathon. You've also got a foundation, so I want to get into the nuts and bolts of both of those things, and then a little bit of what Alzheimer's is as well, please.
Rightio, okay.
So you go ahead, fella.
Well, yeah, no, obviously, as we know, Stan, unfortunately, he's got fully blown Alzheimer's, and, he's battling away every day just to sort of keep some form of profile, but it's very, very difficult for him, and, so we're trying to do as much as we can. We've had a lunch for him in the past. We've had, the game at the Bush, and now I'm going to run the marathon, yeah.
Now, you haven't run a marathon before, have you, Don? This is the first one you're doing.
That'd be like most footballers in my day. We ran to the pub or we ran to the betting shop. That was it.
And I did briefly go onto Wikipedia, and I was looking at your career. You played 180 times for Queen's Park Rangers. You two were brothers. You were soul brothers. You were teammates. And it said, also Don Shanks, famous for being Stan Bowles' betting partner, and went out with Mary Staving. So, I mean, them are two great things to put onto your Wikipedia.
Yeah, no, it's right. Yeah, I mean, Stanley, obviously, me and Stan have gone through a lot together, since he come down to the Bush from Carlisle. We linked up as good mates. I remember our first sort of time I met Stan was with Jerry Francis, the England captain at the time. Jerry was a good friend of mine, living in the same area as me when we were sort of growing up. And he introduced me to Stan, and we went into a restaurant, we're having a nice steak in there, and we're chatting away. And then in the papers that weekend, prior to Stan coming across, was a big piece on Stan. I've give up gambling, never again, I'll never have another bet. It's bum, bum, bum. Anyway, we went to watch a movie instead of going to the dogs or whatever. I said, hey, Stan, you want to go and see a film? Yeah, why not? So I went to watch Clockwork Orange. Well, that would turn you to go and seek some help after watching that. Every other week after watching that, it was Friday night, Wimbledon or Wembley Dogs, Saturday night, White City, and that was it. That was me and Stan, yeah. Linked up, friends forever, yeah.
Now, there's also folklore that at 2:55, before Rangers were kicking off, you were in the dressing room preparing yourself. Stan wasn't there, he was down in betting shops. Is that true, or is that just something that's been very exaggerated over the years?
Well, no, that is exaggerated. Yeah. I'll tell you exactly what it was. I mean, Stan would go into the betting shop, put his bets on, say, around about 2:00. Yeah. All of us sort of big part footballers were just sort of in the dressing room, just beginning to, get ready and get warmed up and all the bits and pieces. But Stan would put his bets on, and what would happen, when you're a gambler, he has one bet and he's sort of watching the race and, don't win. So then he has another little bet. The next thing you know, it's 2:20. All of a sudden, he'll come down to the ground and he'll get himself up into the sort of players' lounge. So we go up in the players' lounge, it'll be about 2:30 now, and he's got his coat on, he's got all his sort of the suit, all the bits and pieces. And now people will be asking him in there, I'd have crept up there by now because I'll have had my tracksuit on and my kit underneath it, and I'll be up there saying, you coming down, Stan? I just want to watch this race, Anyway, it got to about 2:45. And he's still in there sort of watching the race. I mean, obviously, I've got to get down there. I'm treading water, doing what I am. So I go back down there. I've got my gear on, sort of looking ready for the game. And Dave Sexton's sort of just beginning to prepare the sort of the team talk. And Dave was one of them people who used to love going around to the players and say, right, individually have a little, few seconds telling you something, then go to the next player. Well, obviously, Stan's got the number 10 on, so he's going to be one of the last people he's going to speak to. Anyway, now I have the towel in my mouth. I cannot stop laughing because I know Stan's not there. And I know it's coming up to 2:50. And he's got to sort of stand, and he's looking for Stan, and he's sort of thinking he must be in the shower or the bar, going in the toilet or whatever, but he weren't. And he said, Don, where's Stan? And I'm biting the towel, laughing my head off and my head down. So I don't know, he's here somewhere. Next thing you know, the door opens and Stan comes in like Billy the Kid. You know, he comes in there and he said, "Can't believe it." He said, "I've got beaten a photo finish there. I've waited for 5 minutes for the result." He just walks over to the peg, takes his clothes off, puts his kit on. Dave's looking at him like, "Where have you been, Stanley? What are you doing?" You know, "Oh, all right, okay." He goes out, like, you know, lays one on for the first goal in 5 minutes and smashes one in 5 minutes later. You know, what can you do?
Yeah.
Some people can do it, some can't. But that Stanley was a sort of like, you know, law unto himself. But, you know, no, he wasn't in the betting shop at 5-3. He would be on the premises, but he wouldn't be in the kit, you know. But he got away with it a few times, and I think sort of Dave said, "Here, look, Stan, like, make sure you get down here, you know what I mean? I want to be talking to you and this, that, and the other." And Stanley sort of, you know, obeyed the instructions, so.
And also, Stan won a tenner because I was looking through his autobiography, and chapter 13, Shackled with Shanks, and
oh really?
that was the Belgian.
I've not read the book. I said, "Stan, you put what you want about me. I couldn't care less. Make as much money as you like. It's not too strong."
It was
chapter 13. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it was about the when you were in Belgium, and you both been out. You wanted a drink, and the bar was closed, and then someone had the bright idea of asking Mr. Bowles, "I bet I can get a brandy. I bet you're a tenner, Stan. I can get a brandy now." And Stan's gone, "You got no chance, the bar's closed." So you decided to faint.
Yeah.
Would you like to take?
Yeah, so I'll take you through it. So anyway, I said, "Look," I said, all you got to do, Stan, is just when he comes over, just say, "Get him a brandy." So all of a sudden I fainted and like messing around on the floor and all this carry on. Stan said, "Get him a brandy." He went and got me a brandy. Anyway, I drank the brandy as quick as I could, jumped up, said, "Fantastic, I feel wonderful, thank you." And we all started laughing. We went upstairs. Yeah. Anyway, what happens then is we're up there and 10 minutes goes by and all of a sudden you thought there was a war going on. They're banging on the door and sort of police, dogs, everything, and they come in. Now, at this point I'm shouting to Stanley, "Have you done anything, Stan?" "I've done nothing. Have you done anything?" I said, "I've done nothing." "No," I said, "Nothing. That's it." Anyway, with no idea what was going on, they sort of come in and it was real heavy-handed, and all of a sudden Stanley wouldn't get up, and the guy pulls the gun out and puts it at his ankle. By that time, I'm up and dressed and said, "Here's my passport. I think you'll find that in order." And next thing you know, Stanley gets up, and here we go. We're marched downstairs in handcuffs. We're banged into the back of a police van, down to the police station, down to the cell, beat up on the elevator going down. And, you know, not diabolically beat up, but like, you know, given a few here and there. And we get down there and we have no idea why we're there. So anyway, without boring everybody, what it is, you know that old story, who laughs longest? Yeah. The guy who got us the brandy and we had a little laugh and went upstairs, he called an ambulance. And one of the biggest crimes apparently in Belgium you do is call an ambulance and not use it.
Yep.
And that's why they come and dragged us out, because he called an ambulance on our behalf. We didn't use it, hence the rest is history. So that's the cliche, yeah. Then, you know, get in the ambulance, and then, you know, we'd have been better off getting in the ambulance having another brandy.
Now, I told Uddy that earlier, and he says, I bet Stanley never got that tenner, did he?
I got the drink, so Stan owed me the tenner. So I had as much chance of getting that tenner as I've got of going to the moon, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much...
I think he got about 500 quid out of the one of the papers for the story on the Monday. So Stanley was reasonably happy for the weekend.
And they were great times, wasn't they? And I do a little series. I've started a series, My 70s, and I want you to come on and talk more in depth about Queen's Park Rangers, because they were great days. But when we roll it forward now to 2018, it's not great days for Stan. Stan's in a really bad place. You are running the New York Marathon. I put 20 quid in the kitty last night. I went online.
Oh, brilliant, Gabby. That's very kind of you, mate. No, that's fantastic.
To the GoFundMe, and that's what we want people to do. Go to the GoFundMe. It's on your Facebook. It's on your Twitter. Don't just look at it. Don't just look at the YouTube clips. Don't just look at Stan Bowles and think he was an absolute genius and a wonderful person and a character. Go to the GoFundMe and put some money in the kitty to make a difference for one of the greatest footballers that Britain's ever produced.
Yeah, I mean, the family and everything, you know, his daughter Andrew's been looking after him for, you know, the last 4 or 5 years when he went back to Manchester, and he was diagnosed with the Alzheimer's and stuff. And she took him into her house, and he's been there sort of ever since. But it's got to the point now where 4 or 5 months ago, when I went up to see him, he was really in a bad way. Been to hospital a couple of times, and thankfully he sort of bounced back a bit. And then I went up there about 5, 6 weeks ago, and he'd had another little bit of a bad turn, if you like. And it was really, really getting to a point where Andrew was sort of having a little sort of like minor sort of breakdown, because it's just overpowering. And I think the family had a little bit of a meeting, and you've got another daughter, Tracy, and son, Carl, and they sort of said, well, look, let's try and keep Dad at home for Christmas and New Year, and then we've got to really get to that stage where we're going to get him into a full-time place where he's going to have to sort of run out the rest of the journey. And they've got one which is quite close to their home, so it isn't like Dad's going to be alienated there and no one's going to see him. It's very accessible for everybody, and they'd be open. They're a very close family in that way. They a lot can be learned from the way that they've sort of looked after their dad. And it's real sort of close where they can get to see him every day, go over there, see how he's doing. He had a bit of respite. Andrew had some respite about a month ago, 6 weeks ago, where she just had to go away because, like, 24/7, having to shower your dad, having to do everything, and clean up after him and all sorts. It's just, sometimes gets a bit too much. And he went into the home for a week, and it was a bit of a sort of testing time to see how he did. Was he okay? Would he accept it? And he was all right. The people from the home, which is a family friend of Carl, his son, he said your dad was great in there. He said he'd come in, he sort of settled in, and he said they even had a little kickabout in the back. They got a few of them kick. I said, "Do you get a goal or two?" But so it's a big step for the family, and like obviously any funds raised will be going all for his aftercare. And it's about 4 or 5 grand a month, and hopefully he's going to live for 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years more, whatever. But it is really all about that, yeah.
And how's your training going, Don? How are you coping with it all?
Well, when I first started it about 6 months ago, I didn't say nothing to him. I just sort of thought I'll go on this little bit of a program for 2 months, 3 months, and see if my knees would sort of stand up to sort of the rigours of the daily routine, running on the road or whatever, or through the woods or wherever I was going. And if I didn't have any problems, I'd then sort of say, well, right, I think I can do it. And I mentioned it to a friend of mine, a guy called Colin Howe. He's got a company where, which is sports funding initiatives, and they've been very, very supportive, and they, set a lot of things up for me, and, got me sort of training situations, organised all sorts of different things for me, and been there. And it's been a real, real help. Without them, I wouldn't be where I am.
Yeah.
Because they give me a lot of sort of inspiration to do it, and kept going, are you all right, and no pressure from them, just sorting out things that had to be sorted out. And the training, I'm doing well. I'm sort of running up to sort of 18 mile, which is 8 miles short of the finish line, and I'm still sort of got a bit of energy left at that point. So I'd have to say that I'm quite pleased with how it's all going. It's the eating and drinking that's killing me, Gabby. I like a pint of Stella now and then, and
And the Number 10 Foundation, is that you as well? How does that work,
Well, the
Don?
Number 10 Foundation is set up by QPR, and it's basically Number 10 being Stan's number.
Yeah.
And they've set it up because of Stan and any sort of former players, who might fall in a bit of hardship. Maybe they need a hip replacement, maybe they need something, or they might need some financial sort of support in certain areas. And the foundation is set up for that, plus, there's times where, you get things like friends of the elderly as such. Well, the players are elderly as well. And you get some players which handle things differently to others. Like some like to come out and socialise, some stay home. Some are maybe embarrassed with their certain circumstances, and they sort of think, I'd rather be at home, I'm not going. But, the foundation, we'll send a car for them. We'll pick them up with a friend, if they got a partner or whatever, bring them to the ground, make sure they stay in touch with people, get a few numbers, and like, live a life. Don't just go into this recluse situation, or don't sort of get depressed. The depression out there is terrible for people. And so the foundation is sort of set up to keep people active, to help people, and to sort of like, try and get a sort of bond between everybody that, people know that we're trying, and it's not all about you playing, then you forgot. It's not. We're trying to keep it that, like, hey, you've been part of the club, you've played, and now, just because you're older and you're not really around, it's not you've forgotten. We're bringing you back in. We're looking after you. We want to make sure you're okay.
Superb. All sounds brilliant, Don. And people can connect with you on Facebook, Don Shanks, and also on Twitter at Don Shanks QPR.
Yes.
And is it the 4th of November that you've got your
Sunday the 4th of November? I won't be sleeping on the 3rd of November. I'll be worrying about this. It'd be worse than playing in like a cup quarter final or something. That's about as far as I ever got in the cup. But like, I mean, I'm a bit nervous about it, if I'm honest. And we know that it's a mammoth task, but in life it's all about preparation. It's all about getting yourself ready. And I think I've done okay in that department. So I'm hoping that, the guy who's been looking after me, a guy, Juan Garcia, he's run a few marathons and he's done the Ironman thing. And he set the program out for me, and I'm into the month of October, and I'm feeling good on it. And so I've only got about another 3 weeks to go, then it's race time. In my case, event time. Yep. And then off we go, It'll be a little bit of Frank Sinatra, hopefully, about 6:30 with, a lot of the people there will be having all them electrolytes after the marathon. I'll be having the Bud Lights.
Superb. It all sounds great. Well, we're going to keep in touch. We're going to keep following you. We're going to keep spreading the word, keep sharing. We put it onto our SRB radio page. I'll keep sharing it onto my Facebook page. And apologies, because I do link you in and it keeps going onto Don Shanks' page as well. So ignore that and hide it from your timeline if you want to. But I just want to get that word out of you and Stan. And till next time, my friend, all the very best.
Gabby.
All the very best.
Tell interviewers that no matter what they put in, they are making a difference.
Exactly.
It really does. And it's so important that we get some form of a breakthrough, and we get some form of a cure for this horrible, horrible condition that people are getting. But thank you, and thank you guys. It's been tremendous talking to everyone, and hope everybody, all your viewers, have a great Christmas, and I'll speak to you soon, Gabby, yeah?
We definitely speak before, and Alan Hudson wished you all the best and says that you and Bowlesy were the greatest double act since Laurel and Hardy.
Oh, Huddy said that, did he? Yeah. Huddy actually was the best midfield player in the country.
Yeah, exactly.
He really was. He's a tremendous player, and he was ahead of his time, Alan.
Don, for now, thanks so much, mate, and all the very best, and love and wishes to Stan Bowles, to everybody at QPR, and the whole Rangers family.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. You guys take care. Have a great day.
Cheers, Don. Thank you.
Cheers now.
Bye-bye. Bye.